Hello everybody, we're back again with our book, and remember we're reading Overboard from the Survivor Diaries series. And it is by Terry Lane Johnson, published by the Houghton Mifflin Company and Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Company. And we left off yesterday with chapter 1 and 2, with our characters Marina and Travis standing on the rail of a boat whale watching. And when it ended, well, you remember what happened yesterday. So I'm going to read the last page from chapter 2, and we're moving on to chapter 3. I couldn't believe our luck. Whales, orcas, and humpbacks. I searched the cabin to see if Mom and Dad were watching, but I couldn't see them. I should go get my parents, I said. Where? But before she could finish, she gasped at something behind me, her eyes growing wide. Dad! She screamed. I didn't have time to look. The boat rocked violently from under my feet and then hurled me into the air. Chapter 3. Darkness, black and cold. I didn't know which way was up. How deep did I plunge? Weird hollow noises. Must get air. Up, up, up. My suit pushed me up like a beach ball. I broke the surface and gasped loudly, sucking noises coming out of me. Freezing water filled my lungs. I coughed and I coughed. Chaos all around me. Waves slammed me in the face. Wind screamed. The ocean spun around me. Cold water everywhere. Something shrieking. What was that noise? Mom! I tried to yell, but my mouth just filled more with salty water. I gagged. Wiped my eyes, turning my head from the waves. I tried to look around. My breathing was fast and choppy. Something was in the water off to my right. What was that? The whale? The whale attacked the boat! Someone behind me sobbed. Waves crashed up against me in the water again. People screamed all around me. Help! I can't swim! Haley! Where's Haley? Dad! Dad, I yelled, just as a wave broke over my head again. I tried again, pushing myself higher in the water. Dad! But where were they? Where was my sister? Someone was climbing the thing in the water. I realized it was the bottom of the boat. It looked wrong. It looked so wrong, upside down. I flailed my arms, trying to swim closer. Here we go. Let's look at the picture. You can see the boat upturned. And you can actually see some foreshadowing in that picture. And there's Travis and Marina. Okay. Get away from the boat! I heard someone yell. She's going down! Help! Someone yelled close by. I turned and I saw Marina barely bobbing on the surface. She was thrashing weakly with one arm, trying to twist her face away from going underwater. She moaned, holding her arm close to her body. I spun back toward the boat, but I heard Marina moan again. A wave broke over my face. Panic cleared from my mind. I had to get to her. I swam toward her and grabbed the back of her jacket. She clung to me, screeching, I can't move my arm. The wind was blowing us further away. There was something red in the water next to the boat. It grew on the surface like a balloon. People were climbing each other to get it. We're helping each other get in. A life raft. Come on, I said, trying to kick toward it. Waves crashed and washed over my face. The salt stung in my eyes. I couldn't see. Suddenly, it was impossibly far to swim. Mom! Dad! I yelled, Stacy! Huddle with me, Marina said. Get into the held position. The what? I yelled at her. Tuck your arms to your sides. Hug yourself and bring your knees towards you. She coughed as another wave filled in her mouth. Knees towards the chest. Keep your heat in. Can't let the heat escape. Lessening. Position. It was getting harder to hold her up. I kept kicking towards the life raft, but it was so far now. How did it get so far away? We have to kick towards the island, Marina said, nodding her head toward a small island behind us. The wind and waves were pushing us in that direction, so it was easier to turn away from the waves that were breaking over my face. Something bumped me in the back. I screamed, thinking it was a whale. Marina yelled, "Grab it! Grab it!" It was a long piece of plywood, just barely on the surface of the water. When we both grabbed it, it didn't sink far. It was such a relief to have something to hold on to. Marina stretched across it as if it were a surfboard and started kicking towards the island. "Come on! Kick! Kick with me! Kick!" I draped my body next to hers on the board, and we both kicked like motorboats. But it was tough to make the board go where we wanted it. It was square, and it didn't move through the water well. Waves were crashing along the shoreline. Big splashes of water shot up from the rocks, straight into the air. I kicked as hard as I have ever kicked in my life, but we were still too far away to swim to shore. The waves were going to sweep us past the tip of the island. "Should we try to swim?" I yelled. Marina shook her head. "Too much energy, and I think my wrist is broken." My heart pounded in my head. I panted big gulps of air as we surfaced to the top of the waves. We sailed right past the island and watched it go by. I didn't think I'd make the swim anyway. We've lost too much body heat with all this kicking," Marina said. "Get as much of your skin out of the water as you can. The water sucks out your heat faster than the air." We crawled farther up on top of the board, but it started to sink with my weight. I slipped off a bit. We have a picture here. And here's a picture of them on top of the plywood board, trying to get through the waves, but missing the island. "Here, I'm wearing this suit. You stay on the board," I said. I craned my head as high as I could to look behind us. I couldn't see over the waves. I'd lost sight of the boat and the life raft. I looked around at where we had drifted. There was nothing but endless water, and we were all alone out here. That's the end of chapter 3. Let's do chapter 4. Here we go. We weren't entirely alone. Long ships passed in the distance, but they were too far away to see us. We have maybe about an hour," Marina said. "Then we'll probably lose consciousness." "What?" "It was July. It's warm." But this water was icy cold.
Hey, what you doing?
Hey, I've got someone here to join us. Are you enjoying this book?
Yeah, I'd like to join reading with you.
All right, have a seat. Let's all listen.
All right.
What? I didn't want to die. I started reading faster again, searching around for my parents, for anyone. "After you fall into the cold water, a bunch of things happen," she said. "The big thing is, it makes you gasp. You can't help it. And if you're underwater, that's bad. The first minute is where you panic, and then you hyperventilate. You breathe too fast, and you suck water in and drown." We tucked our chins in as a wave pushed us up from behind. I remembered panicking, but I saw Marina, and it made me think of something else. "But if you don't panic," she continued, "then you have about 10 minutes to set up your life raft before you start to lose feeling in your fingers. Our arms are going to stop working properly soon." Marina sounded like a robot. Wasn't she as scared as I was? I watched her face as she talked and slid even closer to her on the board. Her calmness made me feel better. She looked around. "Maybe we have more than an hour since we're out of the water and wearing lots of layers." She glanced back at me. "And you'll last longer than me with that suit. Also, body fat insulates." "I used to be good at gymnastics," I wanted to explain, but I wasn't always like this. When I was on the team, I didn't have time to play Minecraft. But that was over a year ago. Now, that's all I do.
And now, that's all we can really do when we're stuck here at home.
"Dad must have released the life raft," Marina said, but she didn't hear me. "Someone will spot that. He wouldn't have had time to radio distress call. It all happened so fast." "What happened? What did you see?" I asked her. "Did the mom whale get angry and attack?" I couldn't imagine a whale larger than the one that had jumped out of the water, but it would have had to have been really big to sink our big boat. Marina looked at me then. "What? No, that's ridiculous. It was a rogue wave.
All right,
the biggest."
Wait. Let's pause here for a second. Now, I'm in 7th grade right now, and a rogue wave, some of you might be questioning what that is. So, a rogue wave is a giant wave that can stretch over 90 miles in length in almost 50 miles in height.
50 feet.
50 feet, sorry. And they're mostly deadly, and if you have time, search up about the girl who tried to do the world record of sailing across the world in her boat, unaccompanied, with wild eyes. That boat was taken down by a rogue wave, and these things can be deadly and serious. So
when you're doing some reading in biology, or you want to do some Google searching right now, look up rogue waves. All right,
and
let's
maybe
continue.
You can search up about wild eyes, which is a true story.
Okay, we got to continue.
All right.
What? No, that's ridiculous. It was a rogue wave, the biggest monster I've ever seen. A wall of water hit us. And everyone was on the starboard side looking at the orcas. All the weight on the top deck, and on one side, she trailed off and looked like she was about to cry, and then shook her head. Oh, he's okay. He must have gotten to the life raft. My family, too. They're all on the life raft, too, right? I don't know. Probably, Marina looked about. Any minute, we'll see a helicopter searching for us. Every fourth or fifth wave was bigger than the others and broke behind our backs and then crashed on top of us. The board shot forward and then drifted and then shot forward again. We wobbled and splashed, trying to stay on top of the water. Neither of us spoke, but I thought I could hear Marina sniffling. My legs draped into the water and I kicked to keep us straight. I was glad now of the suit that Mom had made me wear, though I could feel cold water around my ankles. I rubbed my hand over my eyes. The salt water stung and caked my skin. It was all I could taste. Marina held her right hand to her chest and clutched the board with her left. "Does it hurt?" I asked. Her expression slipped for a moment, and then she bit her lip. But she tossed her hair from her eyes and stared ahead. "When we make it to shore, we're going to need to build a fire right away," she said, "and a shelter." She described how we were definitely going to make it to shore, and then how we'd make a shelter, how we would use it to get warm, and how we would need to build a signal fire for the rescuers to find us. I nodded, but my thoughts raced along with my heart. Where was Mom and Dad? Did Stacy find them? Did they get into the life raft? Were they looking for me right now? How would they find us out here? There's so much water. Nothing to see but curling, frothing waves in every direction. Splashing, crashing, endless waves.
It's been nice reading with you, but I think I gotta go, okay?
Okay.
Alright. Well, hey, maybe I'll make another appearance sometime later. Alright, bye.
Bye-bye. Everybody, here we go. Let's continue. The waves were like hills, taller than me now. I threw my arm over Marina so she wouldn't be washed over and off of our plywood. My fingers were cold and stiff. How long could we last out here? 25-knot wind, Marina mumbled. Drifting about 5 knots with the current, ebb and tide. She started to sound weaker. Was she going unconscious? I nudged her with my shoulder. Keep talking to me. Come on, come on. How come you know all this stuff? Just Dad and me. Mom left when I was 6. Dad was a commercial fisherman, but we could make a better living in the tourist industry. I take care of him. I learn about whales. Going to be an interpreter on board a tour boat. Teach people about marine life. As I listened to her, my problems at home didn't seem so bad. At least my mom was around. I lifted my head and got hit with the wave right in the face again. I wiped my eyes. I couldn't see the ships anymore at all. It looked like a cloud was tumbling over the mountains. The wind howled behind us, screaming like a wild animal. It tried to tear us from the board again and again. Waves smacked my back, but I started to become aware of another noise. It sounded like wet breathing, and it was right behind us. I twisted, but I didn't see anything. What was that? I kicked to get away. The breathing returned. Closer. I turned, and I looked over one shoulder, and then the other. And that's when I saw it. A dark head with big eyes staring right at me. And that's the end of chapter 4. Stay tuned and join us again tomorrow for chapter 5.